CNN now projects that Democrats will keep control of the United States Senate, holding on to the majority they narrowly won 2 years ago. This is an extraordinary victory for the Democrats as the battle for control of the House continues to play out. We are making this call because we can now project that Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto will win re-election in Nevada. Cortez Masto defying expectations and beating back a very strong challenge from Republican Adam Laxalt. Once again, CNN projects that Senator Catherine Cortez Masto wins re-election, sealing the Democrats' control of the United States Senate for another 2 years.
Did I just put that in there? Yeah, I did. Hello, everybody. I'm David Shuster, and thanks for joining us. In the study of emotions and feelings, there is a German word that seems appropriate here. It is called Schadenfreude. Professor Grande, explain.
So Schadenfreude is when somebody takes joy in another's misfortune. And it comes from two German words, Schaden, which is misfortune or harm, and Freude, which is joy. And a lot of times we look at the research literature, we see that it's generally considered harmful, especially if it tends to occur repeatedly.
In other words, if you feel joy whenever anybody feels misery, well, that would be a problem. But if you're happy and feeling joy over the misery of conservatives and election results, well, that's okay. And after all, the pompous certainty with which conservatives promoted a red wave did get annoying.
When the red wave comes, and it is coming, Joe Biden's political utility is over.
Are we in for a red win here or a red wave?
Red wave or red tsunami? What are you feeling today?
I'm feeling red wave.
It'll be a wave election and you're going to lose the Senate, and I'll bet you $1,000 right now.
The knives are being sharpened right now for Joe Biden.
You know, Democrats are going to get crushed on November 8th because a red wave is coming.
Losers. Now, elections have consequences, and here's what control of the U.S. Senate means for Democrats. They get to control the Senate calendar and much of the legislative agenda. And while it still takes 60 votes to pass most legislation, thanks to a Republican rules change a few years ago, it only takes 51 votes to approve a federal judge. In other words, President Biden can now continue to fill the federal bench with his people. President Biden has matched Donald Trump's pace of confirmation so far. Both presidents confirmed 84 judges through early November of their second year in office, and that beats the pace of Barack Obama, George H.W. Bush, and Ronald Reagan. President Biden will now have a chance to fill the 10% of the federal judiciary that remains vacant, and his choices will begin to offset Donald Trump's judicial legacy at the district and appellate court level. Other nominees who have been stuck in limbo in the Senate, including a few ambassadors, will now cruise through the Senate. And in terms of investigations, Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson was preparing high-profile hearings about Hunter Biden. Other GOP senators were preparing to fire off subpoenas on a host of Biden administration issues. Those inquiries, at least in the Senate, are dead. And the dynamics of the Georgia Senate runoff have also changed. Instead of determining control of the Senate, that race will decide whether the Senate majority for Democrats remains 50-50, with Vice President Harris giving Democrats their majority, or whether the Democrats stretch into a 51-49 majority. In other words, the GOP argument for the importance of a Herschel Walker victory has been neutered. Still, if Democrat Raphael Warnock beats Walker, Senate committees will no longer be evenly split. You would actually have Democratic control of committees. That means no nominees or bills being deadlocked in committee. And when there's a committee tie, to bring something to the Senate floor requires a discharge vote. That can get time-consuming. So the only thing still up in the air is whether Senate Democrats can quicken the pace of legislation and nominations. But either way, the Democrats will still have control, and Republicans are miserable.